It's something I always knew, but right now I am understanding it fully after reading my book on an advanced level and just seeing my progress. Repetition is very important. Repetition is very important in doing whatever you want to do in life. You have to repeat it, even if it's not on a large scale, on a small scale. You have to repeat what you want to be good at in life, so that you end up being better. So you end up just getting there. A lot of times there were times where I often thought, okay, if I want to go to the gym, let me go to the gym for a full hour every single day. And honestly, it gets crazy. And you kind of feel it as if it's like, oh my God, the gym, an hour, start to think. But one thing, if you notice, if you take a little bit of that time and break it into parts, you feel me? I know that reading was, something that I had to eventually fall in love with doing, but I didn't really like it. But I know if I took 15 minutes out of my day of 24 hours to read, eventually I would become a reader. You feel what I'm saying? And the reason why I'm sewing my long sleeve t-shirts over and over and over, and I'm only doing t-shirts, is because repetition will eventually help me get better at sewing in general. I know I want to understand sewing on a larger scale, but in order for me to get that, I can't just go a shirt, then pants, then hoodie, then goddamn whatever. Let me focus on the shirts and let me get that down packed. Then I move over to the pants. That's one thing I noticed. I get to the long sleeve. I don't care how long it takes me to master it. I will do a long sleeve 100 times before I move on to the next item, so that by the time I'm done with the long sleeve, it becomes one of my sixth senses. You feel me? So I know in order to become a better speaker, I have to read every single day. I know in order to become somebody more healthy, I have to work out every single day. I know in order to become somebody who can make clothes on a larger scale, I have to sew every single day. You have to repeat these things. And of course, obviously, it will get to a point where it's boring, because it's something that you're not used to, and it's not a part of your habit system. But as soon as you make it a part of your habit system, the more you're repeating, you're eventually going to get it down packed. You feel what I'm saying? And that's just the obvious thing. The reason why we know how to goddamn make cereal so much and like the back of our hand is because we have repeated it for years, where it's engraved in our head. That's why we're so addicted to our phones too. That's why we just know everything. We just know everything and how to control video games, because we done repeated it for the longest time ever. But in those scenarios, we wasn't looking at it as a new habit or a new skill we had to develop. It was more fun because it was a lot more natural. You feel what I'm saying? But when it comes to having to actually do it and gain a skill, it's going to become difficult. But then you ask yourself, do you stop there? I'm not even going to lie. You technically